I knew it was this witness. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. Witness! Your name and occupation, please!
Gotcha!
I wonder what happened to the composure he had earlier.
Oh, Edgy boy. It's been, what, a year since we last met, hasn't it? You should be more happy to see me.
I saw the report with her testimony, but who knew that under that helmet, it was the Wicked Witch of the witness stand?
I tell you, this time I know what I'm supposed to do. So today I'm going to tell you anything and everything. Even things that don't have to do with that terrible crime.
Miss Witness, that terrible crime is all the court needs to know.
Ooh, shush! I'm talking to my dear Edgy Wedgy right now. Don't interrupt us, Gramps.
Yes, madam. No, please, by all means interrupt her, please. Anyway, witness, your testimony, please.
It's true what they say that youth are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all, Edgy boy. Now then, what should I start with?
The witness was on security detail at the hotel on the night of the murder. Was this correct, Miss Oldbag?
It was a great job being able to see my dearie Juan. It was almost too much for my little heart to handle.
You mean you were a fan of the victim?
Look, everyone is crazy over that on guard, saying he's cute in a fresh way or something. But not me. I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I've no interest in a little child like him. I'm only interested in the real man, Juan Corda.
But those two were the same age.
Anyway, as I was saying, I was pacing in front of his room that night.
Very well. Please tell the court what you witnessed the night of the murder.
Leave it to me, Edgy Poo.
What you witnessed is fine.
Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around in the hallway in front of his room. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know. Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye on the whole time. That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Juan's room. It was on guard, man on guard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room.
So Mr. On Guard came out of the victim's room.
See, it has to be him. He's the murderer.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. This isn't leaving me any space to go, is it?
Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around in the hallway in front of his room.
Miss Oldbag, what was your post on that night?
The lobby. I was supposed to help stand up the stage in that trifling show. But I refused to help, I'll have you know. It was for that lead-headed samurai show. I even took out a few of the nails.
Maybe it was a good thing that show didn't go on.
Besides, that manager with his glasses seemed to be working hard at it without me. So I thought I'd take a break and spread my wings a little.
And that's when you went to hang around with the victim's door?
That was something I was interested in finding out, you know.
Let me guess. Something you were interested in finding out? And just what was that?
It was not something... It was not some little thing I can just go around telling everyone, you know. It's top secret between me and Juan. And, Edgy, of course.
Mr. Edgeworth, what is this thing she was interested in? I have no idea. I despise gossip, Your Honor. Gossip? If this has something to do with the case, then can you append it to your testimony? It looks like we shouldn't force it right now. And did the witness stay in the vicinity of the victim's door the entire time?
Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time.
Oh? Then would you tell us the number of people who went in and out of Mr. Corder's room?
I have no idea. I wasn't born so I could count things for those who didn't pay attention in class. That's why ever since I turned 20, I quit keeping track of how old I am. I really am.
Yes, well, that would explain why your age was not recorded in the report. In any case, the witness then saw someone, correct?
That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Juan's room.
Uh-oh. Who in the world was that?
I'm not allowed to say. This sort of information is to be carefully guarded for the masses, Sonny. The man that came out of Juan's room, it was... he was...
Yes, he was.
I'm too scared. I can't say his name out loud.
Oh, what I wouldn't give to have a Francisca's whip right now.
Well, I guess I can tell you since he was such a bad boy anyway. It was on guard. Man on guard was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room.
Okay, please elaborate. You saw my client? Are you sure about that?
Yes, say.
Really?
Annoying brat. When I say I saw someone, that I saw that person.
Why do I get the sense of deja vu? Maybe to avoid a mess like last year, I should delve into this a bit further. Let's go... person's face. Please tell the court about the man's face in more detail.
You don't want me to tell it. You don't need me to tell you what about his face. The soft, gentle look in his eyes and his effeminate lips. His right eye covered in his silky hair, his sparkling, shining teeth.
His teeth were shining?
Well, his shining all around this week's pinup poster, dearie.
This week's pin... Why do you... I mean, I don't care how he looks in this week's issue. Please stay with what you saw that night.
What? Unguard's face is the same no matter where it is, right? You whippersnapper?
So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way? She didn't really see his face. Of course it was important, Your Honor. Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of its testimony was important? You don't really have to put it that way to get me to say. Mr. Wright, there is something much more valuable than this person's pride. And that is time. Please don't waste this court's precious time with worthless questions. Yes, Your Honor. I think I just wasted his good favor. She may not remember things or be mistaken here and there, but I don't think she's lying. That's bad for us. Really bad. But that's how the human mind is. It also has a tendency to jump off topic. She strayed onto a few interesting side topics this term too, hadn't she? But that's what makes her a sweet old lady, right? And that's because you're not the one who has to question her. So let's see. She wanted to find out something, but let's not press that just yet. We don't need to press out tabloids. I wanted to see more. For some reason, she seems pretty sure that she saw Matt on guard. What are the person's clothes? Please tell the court about the man's clothes in more detail.
What a troublesome man you are. Really, as if something like that matters.
But it does.
Now what was it? Yes, there was that thing.
What thing?
That gaudy thing he's always wearing. That racing jacket.
Ah, he was racing that at the detention center too.
That thing meant for nothing but seducing women out of those pantaloons. Men.
Right. So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way? Yes. Of course it was important, Your Honor. Then perhaps you would like to point out what the part was so important. Don't you see it, Mr. Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request what the witness said about the jacket to be appended to her testimony. I don't quite see where you're going with this, but alright. Witness, please.
Well, I don't like to badmouth anyone without reason, but if I must. He was wearing his flashy racing jacket. Honestly, it's all just for show.
Hang on a second. Are you sure the defendant was wearing a racing jacket?
What do you think? It's not like I've seen him in anything other than that horrible thing. I'm sure he was wearing it.
She's just so sure of herself that it's to the point of self-absorption. Now, racing jacket. You sure he was wearing that? Because, let's look at this button here. It's found in the Hakama! Miss Oldbag!
What? Don't say my name for no reason!
Do you know what this is?
It's a button number 2 in the Jammin' Ninja's ninja costume.
Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She identified it in a single glance.
Give it here! Give it here! If you don't give it to me, I'll punish you with this!
Wow, she really is a diehard fan to want a button covered in blood. This button was discovered in Mr. On Guard's body during a full body search.
See? See? This button proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it was the rascal On Guard.
It was caught up in the pleats of his Nickel Samurai Hakama pants.
See? See? And On Guard is the Nickel Samurai!
Witness. Now, it may just be me, and I do have an active imagination, but just now, didn't you say the defendant, Matt On Guard, was wearing his usual racing jacket?
I'm so sorry. Sorry to judge people based on what they wear. I was the Chinese assassin unit was going to one hour, but instead of put up with a ridiculous looking outfit. You'd agree this outfit is hideous, right? There's a tape recorder down my chest. Let me tell you, it's heavy, so heavy. I was just seeing these. Just keeping alive out there. Smile on my face. Don't you understand? Now take a look at this mirror. Your clothes are just as big as documentaries are curly. Edgeworth.
Now hold your tongue still for just 1 second. So what you saw in actuality was not Mr. On Guard, that man, but Mr. On Guard, the Nickel Samurai?
When you think about it. But when you think about it. They're really one and the same anyway.
Mr. Oldbag, this is a very important point we're talking about.
Edgy Poo, do you think so too?
Well, it might be something worth thinking about. Just say it's important and agree with me for a change. Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify.
Alright, if you insist.
I should be the one sighing, not you.
Here's who I saw. On Guard. On Guard. Yes, now I remember. The Nickel Samurai. That's right. It was the Nickel Samurai that I saw. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. He had to go to the post-ceremony stage show right after the crime, you know. So he must have worn the Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan.
I knew it. I knew you'd say he was inside of that costume.
What? Did you think there could have been someone else inside of the costume? Don't be a bad little boy thinking such rude things.
But the possibility does exist. It happened a year ago.
Ah, youngins today. I told you there's no way it was anyone else.
How do you know that?
Because I said so. What I say is the truth.
At least she's just as delightful a witness as she was a year ago. Except she's now... Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Unable to accept her own mistakes. Just like the internet.
On guard, on guard. Yes, now I remember.
Would you please get on with your testimony?
Watch your language, young man. What sort of tone is that to take with an elder? My youthfulness isn't what it used to be, so you should forgive me for everything. If you keep on barking at me like that, I'll start singing at the top of my lungs.
What?
A striking figure by the sea, standing all alone is he. He's the Nickel Samurai.
She's actually singing. Someone help my poor ears. Mr. Edgeworth, can you please do something to this racket? Witness, I'll give you a piece of gum later if you'll be good and stick to just the facts.
Okay! You promise, right?
Right. I'll be sending the bill for the chewing gum to your office at a later date. Remind me to send you a thank you note later too, Edgeworth, old chum.
The Nickel Samurai, that's right, it was the Nickel Samurai that I saw.
Oh goodness, old bag, what is wrong with you? Be a little more careful with your testimony, please. Not too long ago, you said he was wearing his racing jacket, and now he's not.
Not too long ago? But let me ask you this, when you were itty bitty, what was your grand dream?
Huh?
What did you want to be when you grew up, whippersnapper?
My dream, huh? Well, I wanted to be a Judge Wagner, hero of the public court.
So what? See? Look where you are now. You're not Judge Wagner, are you? Are you?
Well...
What I said earlier. Who puts any weight to things like that? The now is everything. I can't be held responsible for the past.
Since when did court become theatrics over testimonies?
All that matters is the man inside of the costume. Isn't that enough? Yes, it could have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder.
No, go back, go back, go back. I don't want to hear any unnecessary talking from you. Go back, please. And why would that be?
That way, no one could see his face, of course.
But there's still no advantage to him that I can see. In fact, you would think the costume would make him stand out all the more.
You're such an annoying child, you know that? You disagree with everything I say.
Isn't that what you're always doing to me?
I got it! Maybe it was more troublesome for him getting changed in and out of his costume. He had to go to that post-ceremony stage show right now, out of the crime, you know.
No, go back. Please go back. I don't want to hear anything. Was there anyone else scheduled to appear in the post-ceremony show?
Well, all the contestants were supposed to go on stage for a friendly gesture thing.
And that includes the Jammin' Ninja?
Of course it included him. That's why when On Guard came out of the Deal Wan's room, I didn't give it a second thought.
I see.
Well, anyway. So he must have worn the Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Wan.
So let me ask you one last time. The person you saw, it really was the Nickel Samurai?
As showy as ever. Haven't I been saying that from the very beginning?
Can I throw in the towel yet? You don't need to think too hard in this one. Huh? There's a contradiction in her testimony. It's sitting in plain sight. The question is what that contradiction means for us. Well, I have to figure out what you're talking about first, but okay. Let's see. Definitely saw the Nickel Samurai. He must have worn the Nickel Samurai costume when stabbing Wan. He must have worn the Nickel Samurai costume when stabbing Wan. Why would he be wearing the Nickel Samurai costume? He had to go to the post-stage ceremony show. Be convenient for him to wear. How would it be convenient? It isn't convenient at all, actually. But since I have to prove it, well then, it would be convenient for him. Not really, because he didn't bring his Nickel Samurai weapon. And furthermore, I'd like to point this out. If he was wearing the costume, now let's look at the costume one more time. Look at this costume. Take a good look at it. Alright, figured it out? Good. Here it is! Please take a look at this.
Yeah, so it's a knife. Big deal. If you're trying to scare me with that, I'll have you know it won't work.
No, that's not my intention at all. That's the knife it was used in the murder, correct? Your Honor, do you know why this piece of evidence is important to this case? You don't even have to ask. It's because the defendant's fingerprints are on it. Is that what you're driving at? This is exactly what I'm driving at. What are we driving at? And whose car are we driving? If Mr. Ongar was really in the Nickel Samurai costume at the time of the murder, then it's impossible for his fingerprints to have been left on this knife. Actually, he would have wiped all previous fingerprints on the knife right off. Oh, that's right. The Nickel Samurai wears gloves, doesn't he? He probably took his gloves off before we began the stabbing. Now. And why would he do something like that? To leave his prints on the murder weapon? There's no way he would do something like that. However, there's one possibility. Let's hear your possibility. It's very simple. The defendant went to the victim's room while in the costume as a Nickel Samurai. At the time, the defendant had held no intent for murder. He was probably just going to relax and talk to the victim after the stage show. Which is why he took his gloves off. But the murder still did take place. It's well known the defendant and the victim had bad blood between them. Yes, I've I've heard of that. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about Mr. Edgeworth's theory? So let me get this straight. Edgeworth's theory goes like this. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intentions of killing him. Now, up to this point, are there any problems with this theory? There is a contradiction, actually. There's a contradiction. This theory contradicts something in an earlier testimony. What are you babbling about? Now, for argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. On Guard was the killer. If that's the case, I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent. Oh, you know, the knife? This knife. This was used by Mr. On Guard at dinner, and this is the third time I'm presenting this. Yes, we did establish that. Which means that if my client was in fact the killer, then he brought this knife with him when he went to visit Mr. Corda. I suppose. However, you just said it yourself. At the time, the defendant held no intent to murder. If that were true, then why would he bring a knife? He wouldn't, would he? Which means, Mr. Edgeworth, your theory is flawed from supposition 1. And one more thing. If the murderer was wearing the costume at the time of the murder, then there should be glove marks left on the knife. Which means the defendant's fingerprints shouldn't be on it all over it like bees on a hive. And that brings me to my final point. This knife was planted by the real killer to hide their identity and mislead us. Order! Order, I say! Order in the court! Was this knife really planted by the killer? Why would the murderer do such a thing? Obviously, it's to frame man on guard. To hide the murder method? Hiding the murder method isn't important. It's to frame my client, Mr. On Guard, of course. To frame? Aren't you forcing your interpretation just a little too hard on this one? But we just established that the witness saw the nickel samurai in costume. And if that were true, then there should be a single fingerprint on this knife. Ugh. Witness?
Looks like I've made your life a tiny bit more difficult, huh, Edgy?
Witness, did you or did you not really see the nickel samurai?
Well, I guess at first I might have forgotten, but...
Are you saying you mixed up Mr. On Guard with the nickel samurai, his character on TV?
But I mean, I can't really do anything about that. Look, I was waiting around in front of the doors because, well, I wasn't waiting around for the nickel samurai, that's for sure.
She wasn't waiting for the nickel samurai? Alright then, who were you waiting for around then?
That's top secret to anyone outside the security.
I have a feeling that you were waiting for Mr. Wonkorda, am I correct, witness?
And the way you think, you're a sad amateur with a terrible case of nearsightedness.
Amateur? Me? What am I an amateur of? So Old Bag was waiting around in front of the victim's room. But it doesn't sound like she was waiting to catch a glimpse of Mr. Corda. Maybe... Phoenix, maybe the Old Bag was waiting around for that person. That's what I was thinking Mia's hinting at. It's certainly possible. Miss Old Bag, you were waiting for this person to come out of the victim's room, weren't you? It's Adrian Andrews. Who is this person? This is Adrian Andrews, Mr. On Guard's manager. But why would the defendant's manager be in the victim's room? It seems that this is the latest rumor in circulation, Your Honor. Oh, this is... I see. The judge seems to be really into the article, if it could be called such a thing. This manager with the initials AA. Are you saying it's... Adrian Andrews? Without a doubt. The witness thought so as well.
Looks like you found me out. So that's fine. I can throw away this whole sworn to confidentiality stuff.
Witness? What in the world are you? Watch out, Phoenix. I got a bad feeling about this. A very bad feeling.
I got some information. Some very secret information from a certain source. So that's why I was doing my own little investigation. In secret, of course.
But what for?
Well, just for myself. Personal reasons and all that.
Well, Mr. On Guard, how will you proceed from here? I really don't want to do this. However, I cannot simply let this point slide. I see. Very well then, witness, please testify about this secret information.
Get ready. This is going to take the wind out of you, young'uns.
I'm sure we're all capable of handling this. Really, it's not like we're 10 years old.
That On Guard is one evil, evil man. He thought he could ruin poor Juan by causing a huge scandal. Just to do that, he sent his own manager to get in close with Juan. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. Oh, and this is top secret. You got that? Nobody else but you and me know yet, okay?
The defendant sent his manager. What a distasteful topic for this court.
What? Nobody's above gossip. And isn't there a saying, the truth is never pleasant?
Never heard of that one before. Mr. Edgeworth, what about this Adrian Andrews person? We have looked into this matter, and found that the truth this article proposes is, in fact, baseless gossip. But should this be true, then this proves that the defendant did bear ill will towards the victim. So this means I have to smash this rumor once and for all. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Plead careful. The old bag seems rather excited right now.
That's right! On Guard is nothing but your average foul-blooded youth!
Well, as the old saying goes, you gotta burn old bags with fire. Time to fire up the afterburners and hit the highway to the danger zone. Full speed!
That On Guard is one evil, evil man!
You can't say something like that without proof. That's just slander.
But it's true! That woman was getting intimate with poor Juan. Look, it says so right here, doesn't it? Manager to the stars, Mr. AA.
But the name of the magazine this came from is Gossip Land.
What? Are you saying that gossip is just all pack of lies? What do you know? I suppose next you'll swear to me that the news is 100% true. Honestly, Sonny, you can't discriminate between the news and gossip.
Yes, discrimination is bad, Mr. Wright.
Discriminate? When did I do anything like that? Anyway, Mr. Edgeworth, Mr. On Guard would never get me to say touche. He thought he could ruin poor Juan by causing a huge scandal.
A scandal? What do you mean by that?
You're a dim-witted one, aren't you? I can't believe you don't know what a scandal is. Honestly, what are they teaching kids in middle school these days?
No, I wasn't asking what the word scandal means. Even I know that much.
Well, and On Guard thought he could own a monopoly of popularity. So to do that, he sent his own manager to get in close with Juan.
You don't have any proof that Mr. On Guard did any such thing.
You must be suffering from a shock of hearing the truth. And now, since you're in so much shock, you can't do anything right.
You're right, I can't do anything. But boy, do I wish I could do something about you.
Alright then, Sonny, show me what you got. Can you show me proof that On Guard didn't bear any ill will towards Juan?
Not yet. I don't have anything to offer.
See? Just as I thought. You were lecturing me about saying things without proof. You're just giving me a free pass to say whatever I want, whenever I want, silly boy.
Me and my big mouth.
That's the way the cookie crumbles. For you, anyway. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action.
Hang on. So, what did you mean by I took action?
Like I already told you, I was lying in wait close to the crime scene. Once the slimy woman came out of Juan's room, I was going to capture her and teach her a good lesson, something you young'uns need.
You were going to teach her a good lesson?
I was going to make her eat the damaging beams of my ray gun. Not like this!
No, stop!
Well, it was too bad that a woman didn't come through the door that night. Oh, and this is top secret. You got that? Nobody else but you and me know yet, okay?
Hang on.
Wait. What? I'm a busy woman. Tea time with the kids is over.
Secret information that no one else knows yet? If that's true, then how do you know the secret information?
Well, that's because I'm a pro. Yes, that's it. It's a secret. Even if you drill a hole in my brain, you'll never find out.
How in the world did that old bat get such a secret piece of information? How did she get us a piece of secret information? She used the tabloid from Gossipland. Hang on. Hang on. If you don't be a good girl and tell me where you got this secret information, you won't get to go home today.
Edgy boy, what are you doing? Help me.
What do I have to do with this?
Just do this for me. You'll get your award.
I don't want your award, but you don't leave me much of a choice. This witness could have gotten their information from anywhere. It's even possible that it was spontaneously made up inside the witness's head. And he lectures me on reckless blabbering. As long as we don't know where this sort of information came from, it's quite a waste of time to focus on this line of questioning. Where did old bag get her inside information? It has to be something I can use to figure it out. Sounds like just another tidbit of gossip, doesn't it? But you can't just ignore it either. It makes your client look bad either way. Well, I don't think I heard anything really out of the ordinary just now. There has to be something we can catch her on. Yeah, when I find it, I'm going to press the heck out of it. Okay. Top secret. It can't be top secret. There has to be something. And I'm pretty sure I already figured it out. Because she definitely found it from a source, not from anything else. So let's present something. So no one else is supposed to know this secret information, correct? If that's true, then why do you know it, Miss Oldbag?
Why are you looking at me like that? Stop that! Witness!
I'm sad to say, but this is how you found out the secret, isn't it? The investigative reporter, Lotta Hart. Ah yes, I remember that mischievous girl. She reported that she had lost a certain note she was written to herself. She reported such a thing? On that piece of paper, she had written down some of her outrage impressions about the relationship between the victim and Miss Andrews.
What? Outrageous ideas, you say?
No, I said impressions!
Then everything written on this piece of paper is completely meaningless!
Ah, that's it! That's the note!
No, you see, this is something completely different! This is my top secret list of groceries to buy!
You're the one who took Miss Hart's note.
I'm a huge fan of Wand, that's why! That's a famous puffy-haired whippersnapper. She's working with that evil on guard. She just said to herself, "On guard, I'm his sidekick." She was so happy, smiling like a silly duck. I was only checking what she had written. Edgy Poo, you believe me, don't you? I was only trying to help out like the angel I am. I'm only one little piece of paper. I've never taken anything else before.
You really should come with a supply of cheese to match your vintage wine. Well, it was only a piece of paper. I suppose we can overlook this just once. She looks like she's really sorry. Should I forgive her? Wait a second. I can't really do that. I'm sorry, but I cannot do that. If I let up on her now, she'll get away. I have to find some way to inflict a deafening blow to the prosecution. Witness! You said that the only thing you stole was that note. Is that correct?
It's a soul! Why don't you listen more carefully, you annoying brat? I saved this piece of paper from the terrible old trash can, that's all!
You're lying! You're lying! And I can prove it!
You're putting my credibility on the screen again?
Mr. Oldback, I didn't believe that note is the only thing you stole that night. The camera! Miss Oldback, that note was with the camera inside its case, wasn't it? A camera? Yesterday, Lotta Hart was raising a huge stink over her camera. She kept saying something like, my sweetie $1,600 camera disappeared on me. Why? Witness!
What is it, Gramps?
If you have the note, then there's only logical that you have the camera too!
Looks like you found me out again, Sonny. Is this the camera you're looking for?
That's...
What? Even though I look like this, I'm still a person, you know. I still eat meals like you. I fall in love and borrow things from people.
I think your definition of borrow is a little off.
I saw that woman's business card. That's what I noticed. It said, Slimeback celebrity photographer extraordinaire. Well, then that's what I saw. I had to know what sort of picture she had taken. As a professional security guard, it's a business to know these things. Witness.
Bailiff! Check this camera's photos. Hurry! We must examine them at once! Okay. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do we have? There is only one photo that seems to be relevant to this case. Let's present it to the court! Huh? This is the Nickel Samurai!
See, I told you, that's the guy I saw.
It proves that the witness was not lying earlier about this matter. Uh-oh. But what does all this mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photo by itself does not prove the person in it is the defendant. However, in his own confession, Mr. On-Guard clearly stated that at the time of the murder, he was still in his Nickel Samurai costume. If that is the case, then this Nickel Samurai is the defendant. Uh-oh. How did it come to this? To think this brings us to the end. We've examined every piece of evidence thoroughly. Final comments, Mr. Wright? The court will consider them before we close. Do you agree that this photo is decisive evidence against your client? If this photo really is decisive, then we're done for. But if I raise an objection here and blow it, then I put Maya's life in jeopardy. I can't make a mistake here. There's only one road out for this mess. This photo that Lotta took, there's... I just gotta point out that this isn't my Madame Guard. Nickel Samurai, what do you look like? Okay, that's what he looks like here. And then here. Once more. This. Talk about deja vu! There's something strange with this photo. I knew this was coming, Mr. Rice. I knew this was coming, right? Your thoughts, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we can all agree there is nothing strange with this photo. There's no way for the defense to debunk this photo, even with a bunker buster. Debunk with a bunker buster? Is that what you're planning to do, Mr. Wright? Anyway, please look at the photo one more time. If you really believe you can honestly find something wrong with this photo, then you should only need one chance, correct? Well, I have to find something wrong with this photo. I can't let this chance go by. Where the heck did she take this photo anyway? It's all out of the focus. Why can't she take a good shot, especially when it counts? Now then, let's hear your objection. What about this photo is strange? I only get one shot at this. As I said before, this. I would like to direct the court's attention to this one area right here. What are you pointing to? His ankles? If you could see this person's ankle, that would be one thing. However, you can't. And? What does that mean? The Nickel Samurai in this photo could not have been Mr. On Guard. What is the meaning of this? I wonder if you would care to elaborate, with actual facts, that is. Let's take a look at the Nickel Samurai's poster. Please pay particular attention to this area around the bottom of the hakama. His socks. You can see his socks. Exactly. However, in this photo, the Nickel Samurai is clearly holding up his hakama just to walk. There's only one explanation for this. The person inside of this costume is clearly much shorter than the defendant. Alright, I think I've turned things around for myself this time. That's curious. Huh? What is? Edgeworth is unusually calm today. That's true. He's just letting the trial run itself. As if he's only along for the ride. Along for the ride? What do you mean by that? I can only think that perhaps he doesn't feel under attack at all. He doesn't feel under attack? Then he's not taking any damage? Mr. Edgeworth, where does this leave us? If the person in this photo is not on guard, then everything in the prosecution has tried to prove has become meaningless. I thought it would come to this. What? Right, I have something I want to ask you. I think you have proven that the person inside this costume is not mad on guard. In that case, who is this a photo of? Who is the person wearing the Nickel Samurai costume? Don't stress out over it, Phoenix. It's very simple. What it should be focused on is Edgeworth's attitude, don't you think? Yeah. Why is he so calm? Mr. Wright, let's hear your thoughts. Who is the person in this photograph? Well, I've already said it might have been her. Take that. Adrian Andrews. If you want to know who that Nickel Samurai is, it's none other than this woman. And why would you say it would be Miss Andrews? What in the world points you to her? For starters, she's short. And she can freely move in and out of Mr. On Guard's room. Finally, she had dinner with Mr. On Guard that night. And how does that all add up? It means that it makes very easy for her to get a certain item. A certain knife with Mr. On Guard's fingerprints all over it. The knife which was used as a murder weapon. Why don't you just say that it was... Why don't you just say what it is you want, right? I have to do this now. It's my last chance to turn things around. The defense motions to indict Mr. Adrian Andrews in the murder of Juan Corda. It was Miss Andrews who tried to frame the defendant for the crime. Order, order, order! It looks like this trial has hit the most unexpected development. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. This court is issuing a subpoena. That's strong bad, get out of here. A subpoena for Miss Adrian Andrews. A verdict cannot be passed without first hearing her testimony. Alright, this is it. This is kind of bad for us. Huh? What do you mean? If Adrian Andrews is summoned to court as a witness, that means the trial will go for another day. One more day. Ugh! If I don't get a verdict today, then Maya... Now then, we shall set Miss Adrian's testimony for tomorrow. What am I supposed to do? The judge is about to adjourn the court. Objection! Now then. Please, Your Honor, continue the trial. We must pass a verdict today. We cannot do that. We cannot hear Miss Andrews' testimony. She is not... I abhor wasting such valuable time. Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request that you please continue with today's trial. But we cannot continue due to this unexpected development. Unexpected development? I think you underestimate me, Your Honor. And what do you mean by that? That Mr. Phoenix Wright would slave his way to subpoenaing Miss Adrian Andrews is all happening according to my plan. Even if Wright was a bit slow to catch on. What? What is the meaning of your statement, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Adrian Andrews was certainly waiting in the prosecution lobby. She is the next witness. Everything was planned out in advance by that man? Somehow, I knew there was no way Edgeworth would overlook Miss Andrews. It looks like the battle is far from over. Exactly. Very well. We will call the next witness. However, before we proceed, we shall take a 10-minute recess. Please prepare your witness in that time, Mr. Edgeworth. The court will now take a 10-minute recess. So close. So close. Alright. We managed to continue doing it for the day. Maya. Alright. This is Let's Play Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Justice for All. I'm Luigi Van 64D. See you next time. We get to find out the truth and... oh, goodness. Get to finally go over what Mr. Adrian Andrews has to say. See you next time.